Hey, seventh grade. Today I want to show you the next step in your mask project. So once you are sure that your paper mache is dry, you're going to take your pencil and you're going to draw directly onto your mask base. Now, this is after you've reinforced the areas and sealed the edges. And I'm going to take my pencil and draw what I see on my mask plan. Pretty cool thing about our mask drawings is they are the same size as our mask base. So if I'm trying to get my drawing accurate, I simply look at the one that I have finished and try to match the sizes and shapes. If at this point you want to change something, make something a little bit bigger or longer or shorter or cut something out of it, you can. So I decided to make the embellishments around the eyes a little bit larger, and I slightly changed the shape of that paint puddle. So I'm going to outline all the major areas and details that I want to see when I am creating the forms and then later on when I'm painting. You can't really erase on the paper mache, so as you're sketching out your lines, keep them like loose and sketchy because you might have to draw over one of the lines that you're creating. Let me speed this up a little bit. So I'll put in all of the designs and patterns that I've created all the way to the edge of the mask. You can pick up your mask and hold it. You can prop it up against something else if you need help accessing all the areas of the mask. It's a little bit different drawing on a three-dimensional form than it is onto a flat paper. So when I'm happy with the way the mask looks, then the next thing I'm going to do is go and start adding in the actual paper mache forms. So here in this video, I'm going to be taking these designs and forms and turning them into 3D. So I'm going to start with the center of the eye. So I took a piece of paper mache, I dipped it in the water. I cut two of them so they'd be the same size. And I just roll it in my hand like it's Play-Doh or clay. And I'm going to use my fingers to kind of mold and form and shape that. Not everything that I drew is going to be three-dimensional. Some of it is going to stay flat, and I will paint them on later. Like the little petals at the top of the head, like up on the edge of the forehead, I'm going to paint those on. But the petals around the eye, I'll create out of the paper mache. So I'm wrapping that right around the side. I made that handle by rolling it. Now I want to make the paintbrush bristles. Those have a more organic shape to them. So using two pieces of paper mache, I'm going to kind of form and smush that into the shape that I drew of the paintbrush. And again, I just use my fingers to kind of pinch it and fit it in where I would like it to be. When you're working with the paper mache today, you're using it more like clay. You might get a piece that doesn't actually end up fitting after you mold it. You might change the shape of what you're working with, or you might say, okay, that piece didn't work, and you might have to just put it to the side and try again with a new piece. There's some element of practice and trial and error here when you're working with the paper mache, if this is the first time that you've used this to mold and form shapes. I recommend going a little smaller if you're trying to figure out the shape of something that you're building, because you could always add more paper mache to it. Now here I'm going to start doing the petals, and when I do the petals, I end up making them all slightly bigger than what I drew. It's easier for me to work with, and I think it's going to be easier for me to paint them later too. So after you finish putting all of your designs that you want onto here, we'll have to let them dry for at least a day, and then we'll be able to talk about painting them.